You know when you have absolutely no motivation to lose weight, but you can feel that you're getting bigger. You might have even lost weight in the past, and you're undoing all of that. All of that weight's coming back. In fact, you might be like some of my coaching clients that I've coached throughout the years who actually had weight loss surgery, and even that didn't work. And you just can't find the motivation to lose weight. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. Today is episode number 493. This is Get Real episode number 111. So let's get real. Why it's so hard to get motivated to lose weight, even if you feel desperate to make a change. Hello, welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is JoLynn Braley. I am the founder of the Inner Self Diet. The Inner Self Diet is the mind-body-spirit connection that you need if you really are serious about losing weight and keeping it off. You see, no food diet out there heals the root of your emotional eating, your binge eating, your late night stuffing. Food diets don't fix those mental and emotional problems. Food diets don't fix the triggers that take you off track. The Inner Self Diet does. The Inner Self Diet addresses what is 92.8% of the problem, and that's your internal world. That's why I call it the Inner Self Diet. If you do the Inner Self Diet and you just follow the steps and you get out of your own way, then whatever your healthy eating plan of choice is, you're able to do it without getting in your own way. You stop struggling. In fact, my coaching clients who just simply follow my proven step-by-step proprietary system in the Inner Self Diet, they are struggle-free with their eating and their weight by the time we get to our 8th coaching call. So it's pretty powerful. I've been doing this work since 2009. I've seen it work every time, unless somebody doesn't follow the steps. I mean, you can't just listen to me talk about it, you know? Words don't teach, only experience teaches. You got to get in it to win it. You've got to actually do the steps, baby step by baby step by baby step by baby step, and be willing to come out of your comfort zone. Be willing to change. Be willing to be nicer to yourself. Be willing to let the excess weight go. And by the way, there's more weight involved than just the physical weight on your body. You've got mental weight, you've got emotional weight, you might even have spiritual weight. There's a lot of layers to this whole issue. That's why you're still struggling after all these years, even knowing what you could be doing right now to eat healthy, and you're not doing it. You're still battling all of these problems. So, don't beat yourself up about it, because if you've never done the inner work, you haven't healed the root of what causes you to sabotage yourself, you haven't addressed the unconscious triggers, then you shouldn't be beating yourself up, because you've never taken that path. And that's the path that you need, which might make sense when you look at the fact that here you are listening to my voice right now, and look at everything that you've already done to try to lose weight. Why hasn't it worked? Does that make any sense at all? A little bit? I know it's difficult because we're not having a two-way communication right now. I need to have that two-way communication with my coaching clients to help them with their personal and specific internal roadblocks that are stopping them right now from losing weight. And a lot of them, most of them, I'd say 99% of my coaching clients, when I first start working with them, they don't even know what's stopping them. They don't even know. And that is a really bad place to be in, because See, we all have blind spots. I have blind spots too. Everybody has blind spots, and we can't see those by ourselves. That's why when you get coaching for whatever area of life you want help with, and obviously we're talking about this topic of weight loss right now, when you get coaching and you have a great coach who can be objective and who has the skill set and the training and the wherewithal to see what you can't see, then you can really make fast progress. And that's why my clients, they're struggle-free with their eating and their weight by the time we get to our 8th coaching call. So that's what I do with my clients in the Inner Self Diet. They get out of their own way, and obviously they gain motivation to lose weight if they don't have it. But what I want to talk to you about today is this topic of why it's so hard to get motivated to lose weight. And we're going to get real about it. Before I explain this topic of getting real, I want to share with you that you can learn more for free about what I'm talking about right now, which it'd be a really good idea for you to go over to www.easyfunweightloss.com. easyfunweightloss.com. Just enter your first name and email and get my free download, because especially if you are very conditioned to have believed all these years that the whole problem is the food and the whole problem is that you need a new food diet. If that has been your thinking, then you really need my free download, my free info over at www.easyfunweightloss.com, so you can start learning a little bit more about why 92.8% of your problem has never been addressed. And that's why you're still struggling. And the mainstream diet industry won't tell you this. And they're really not supposed to, because they're delivering a solution, which is a food diet, which is important if it's healthy. You got to change. You got to change your eating if you're going to lose weight. Absolutely. But why aren't you doing it? And I know you could say, oh, because I'm not motivated. That's why I'm listening to this podcast here today. Why is it so hard to get motivated to lose weight? Right. But why is it so hard to get motivated to lose weight? And why isn't a food diet giving you that motivation? And how can a food diet, a healthy food diet, how can it help you if you're not doing it? You need more than a food diet if you really are serious about fixing your overweight problem. Even weight loss surgery isn't enough. I've had so many coaching clients who had weight loss surgery, and that doesn't fix the problem either, because all it does is cut out a piece of your stomach so you have to eat less. But guess what? Emotional eaters and binge eaters don't eat for physical hunger. Physical hunger has nothing to do with it. When's the last time you were physically hungry and you were eating for your emotions? You were eating because you were angry, or eating because you were sad, or eating because you were depressed, or eating because you felt hopeless. That's not physical hunger. That's why weight loss surgery doesn't work. That's why if you've ever watched My 600-Pound Life, don't they have a little blurb in the beginning that says only 5% of those people can ever succeed? You got to address what's between your own two ears. So that's what we're going to look at here. But make sure you get my free download over at www.easyfunweightloss.com. That's really important so that you can learn more, because, I can only do so long of a podcast. I can't cover everything in a short little podcast, which I'm aiming to keep under 30 minutes. One other thing. This is a Get Real episode. Since I launched my podcast the first week of January 2013, 9 years ago. That's a long time. I said that I was going to do one Get Real episode per month. I've gotten the best feedback on my Get Real episodes. And this is Get Real episode number 111. So I got to give you a warning. If you are looking for more excuses to make, if you're looking for more reasons to stay in a pity party, if you're looking for more reasons to stay the victim, if you're looking for more reasons to blame other people or to blame the food, or to blame anything outside of yourself for why you're not losing weight, then you're not going to like this podcast and you should just leave. Because I don't have anything for you. You're not going to ever be successful fully with weight loss. You might be able to lose some weight, but you'll gain it back. You're not going to ever be fully successful with weight loss if you're not willing to get real with yourself and then do the work that you need to do to fix this. And what does it mean to get real with yourself? Does that mean that you got to beat yourself up and call yourself names? No, it means that you got to take full, personal, badass responsibility for your own choices and your own results, and be willing to be totally honest with yourself. That's what getting real is about. It doesn't help if you are mean to yourself and go into all of that negative self-talk, which you normally do anyway, because what does that do? That just drives you to eat more food. That's all you get from that. Getting real is about looking at, where are you right now? How much exactly do you weigh? Do you know how many coaching clients I've started working with who didn't want to weigh themselves because they didn't want to see how much weight they had gained? All right, that's not a good thing. You have to get real. You have to be willing to look at, where am I at right now? How did I get here? What did I do to get here? Take full personal responsibility for your results that you have now and map out, where do you want to go? And here's the beauty and the power of getting real with yourself. Let's look at it from the negative side, okay? Because if you're not willing to get real with yourself, then you're not taking full personal responsibility for where you are right now. You're not taking full personal responsibility for the results that you have. And then that means that you have no power to move forward, because it's always somebody else's fault. And if it's somebody else's fault, then they are the ones who have to change in order for you to get to your ideal weight. And guess what? You don't have any control over other people. You only have control over yourself. If you're not willing to take full personal responsibility for yourself and for how you eat and the food that you keep eating and the weight that you're at and the weight that you've gained and the actions that you've taken and the actions you haven't taken, then you don't have the power to get to where you want to go, because you're not in your power. Does that make sense? So you got to get real, all right? So let's get real right now. Why is it so hard to get motivated to lose weight? Why is it so hard to get motivated to lose weight? Well, one reason is it's just easier not to. It's easier to blame other people. It's either easier to stay in a pity party. It's easier to play the victim and say that it's the time of year, it's the economy, it's the news, it's your parents, it's your husband, it's your kids, it's your boss, it's your work, it's your history with being overweight, it's your addiction to sugar. I mean, this can go on forever, really. And hey, guess what? The reason I'm so clear on all of this is because I've been there. It's not like I'm talking to you from a place where I've never had these problems. I've had these problems. And I do believe that that makes me a better coach for my coaching clients, because I know what it feels like. I can empathize. And my job is not to enable my coaching clients to stay where they are. My job is to help them come out of that place, to move into their own personal power, where they are able to easily, struggle-free, do what they need to do to eat healthy and get that weight off. And that includes healing the root of what drives their binge eating, their emotional eating, their compulsive overeating, their stress eating, whatever their problems are. You have to be in your own power in order to do this. And guess what? Here's something really simple. You want to know another reason why it's so hard to get motivated to lose weight? Because you're not in your own power. If you could jump out of the pit that you're in, the pit of despair, the pit of loneliness, where you're trying to fill an bottomless pit within you with food. It might not be a pit of loneliness. It could be a pit of insecurity. I don't know. Again, this comes back to the two-way communication, because I don't know what you specifically are dealing with. And you might not even realize what specifically you're dealing with, because a lot of this is unconscious. Why is it unconscious? Because you started on this path back when you were a kid. You know? And you've been at it for a long time. And that's not a reason to beat yourself up, okay? If you just make a decision that you're going to get this weight off and you're going to keep it off, and that means that you need to change your eating behaviors, and that means that you need to go to the root of what is driving your eating behaviors. If you make the decision that you're done struggling with this, then you're going to get the help you need to fix this and feel great about yourself again and look good. You know? Look your best in your jeans. Why not? So how can you get motivated to lose weight if you're not even in your own power? If you are not taking full personal responsibility for where you are? In fact, this topic right here of why it's so hard to get motivated to lose weight, the specific issue of the fact that if you're not taking full badass personal responsibility for yourself, you're not going to have motivation to lose weight because you don't have any power to do it. It's always something else or someone else it's always outside of you why you're not there. This topic, I don't think I've ever talked about this on the JoLynn Braley Show before, about connecting it to the lack of weight loss motivation. I do have a few other podcasts that you can listen to, which are going to have a different spin on them, where I focused on different reasons and different things about weight loss motivation. If you want to grab a pen and paper and jot these podcast numbers down right now, obviously you can't do this if you're driving, but you can come back to this section of the podcast if you want. And if you want to go through my podcast and find these other episodes about weight loss motivation, I focused on other angles of this problem. So those episodes, one of them is episode number 39. And in whatever podcast outlet you're listening to the JoLynn Braley Show on, you should be able to just type in these numbers within the show and find them. The only reason I think it might not work is if you're listening to an outlet that is newer to my podcast platform. I'm not sure if some of these older ones will be in there. So I do know that you can absolutely find all of these podcasts on my website, fearlessfatloss.com. If you go to fearlessfatloss.com/blog, fearlessfatloss.com/blog, and then in the search bar, you type in any of these numbers, you'll find these podcasts. So I know for sure that'll work. All right, so one of them is podcast episode number 039. Another one is 065. Another one is episode number 345. Another one is episode number 340. And also, I did do a series, the 12 Days of Weight Loss, which is free, which you can opt in for if you'd like. If you search in the JoLynn Braley Show for the 12 Days of Weight Loss, I actually put worksheets together for each of those episodes. And this is something that you could go through even though it's not the holiday season, because it's really not about the holiday season, but I did it during a holiday season. And episode number 2 of that special sub-series I did, the 12 Days of Weight Loss, that's actually about weight loss motivation. And actually, while we're talking about this right now, if you go over to fearlessfatloss.com/12 days, that's the number 1, the number 2 days, fearlessfatloss.com/12 days. You can opt in for my free 12 days of weight loss. And you'll get emails, which will have these worksheets in them. It's a very powerful, free series that I did for a whole 12 days. You might want to hop on that if you'd like to. All right, so those are other episodes that you can listen to in the JoLynn Braley Show. And like I was saying, I haven't talked about this connection between the lack of personal responsibility and the lack of weight loss motivation, and the fact that if you're not taking full personal responsibility for where you are, if it's always somebody else's fault, then yeah, you're definitely not going to have motivation to lose weight because you feel like you don't have any power to change. And then here's something else about all of this. And this is also an illustration of why the inner self diet is so critical if you really want to lose weight and keep it off. All right? And feel really, really great about yourself. Another reason that you're not motivated to lose weight and why it's so hard to get motivated to lose weight is because you're not addressing your inner world. All right? And I'll give you a really simple example right now. So just imagine changing how you're eating. And imagine doing it today. Not waiting until Monday. Not waiting until some other time. Not waiting until you've eaten up all of the fake food in your house because you already spent money on it. And you better eat all that fake food first since you bought it. Which will go on forever because as soon as you finish eating all of that, you'll go to the store and buy more. So it's just an excuse. How do I know this? Because I've done that before. So right now, imagine changing your eating today. Getting off of the processed foods, eating clean, eating totally healthy, which means that you're not going to be eating your favorite binge foods anymore, your favorite comfort foods, all of the foods that are putting the weight on, stopping you from losing weight, causing you to gain more weight. And just notice the resistance that you feel. Notice how you don't really want to do it. What you want is you want to lose weight, but you want to keep eating exactly as you are. You don't want to let go of any of those foods. You want your cake and you want to be able to eat it too and lose weight. Now, what's interesting is if you go to the root of this problem, you can get to a place where you're able to eat cake sometimes, but you don't eat the whole cake and you don't have to eat a whole huge piece, and it doesn't send you off the rails into the place where you're off track for 6 more months because you ate a piece of cake. All right, so back to this resistance that you can feel in yourself right now when you just simply imagine making the changes that you could make right now to get on track and get this weight off right now, this moment. No more going to McDonald's. No more eating all that stuff that you've been eating. Changing right now. The reason that you feel so much resistance is because of what you think and believe about making these changes. But what are you thinking and what do you believe? If you're like everyone else who is stuck and they can't get motivated to lose weight and they can't figure out why it's so hard to get motivated to lose weight, you're not even aware of what you're thinking when that resistance comes up to imagining eating clean right now. That little exercise I just took you through a minute ago. You also don't know what your limiting beliefs are that are holding you back, but I guarantee you that there are thoughts that you're thinking unconsciously that are stopping you from losing weight now. And you also have limiting beliefs that are stopping you now. How do I know? You wouldn't be listening to this podcast. You wouldn't have any reason to hear my voice right now. If you didn't have any stinking thinking that was stopping you and you didn't have any limiting beliefs stopping you, you wouldn't be hearing me right now. You wouldn't be listening. You'd be just bipping along. You'd either already be at your ideal weight and not have any problems, or you'd be on that path just bipping along. You see, this is why the inner self diet is so critical. If you don't address what's between your own two ears, that's 92.8% of all of this. I'll give you an example of a thought that will stop you. I have no idea if this would be applicable to you or not. I have to have two-way communication to be able to hone in and hear what's stopping my coaching clients. I seem to have some kind of a talent for being able to hear the boing when we're talking on the phone, and I can hear it really easily, but they can't. And the reason that you can't is because you live in it. And it's the same thing for me, right? I need coaching to get me out from behind my own blind spots too, with whatever area of life I want to move forward on and do it as fast as possible. All right, so one thought that can stop an overweight overeater, a binge eater, an emotional eater, when they imagine themselves changing right now. Okay, so it doesn't matter what kind of food you have in the house. It doesn't matter how much of that fake food you've bought. Yeah, some of it's going to go bad because you're not going to eat it, but you're going to change right now. You're not going to wait until Monday. You're going to get back on track with a healthy eating plan that worked for you in the past. No excuses, nothing. All right, well, a really simple thought that you can think unconsciously, and it goes by so fast you don't even realize it. All you know is that you say, well, I can't do this right now. I have to wait till Monday. But that's not the thought that's stopping you. An example of a thought that can stop you it's so simple. It's what I was actually saying. I think I said it already here in this podcast. Well, I can't do that right now because I spent the money on this food and I've got to eat it. Sounds like it's pretty benign and pretty simple. And you could come up with all kinds of excuses and reasons for why that makes sense. And hey, that would be valid if you were living in a starvation state, meaning that you had no access at all to food and what you had in your house was all you were ever going to get. Then you'd probably want to ration your food, and that would also mean you wouldn't be going out and buying more food either, though. You know? So if that's not the state you're in, which is probably not, because if you were in a state like that, I don't think you'd be spending time listening to a podcast about weight loss. It would make sense to not waste the food that you already bought. But then you also wouldn't be focusing on something as quote unquote trivial as losing weight when if you were in a starvation mode, that would be life and death. What I'm getting at here is it's an excuse to say to yourself, I have to eat all the food in my house before I can get back on track and eat healthy. And therefore, I can't change right now. And you know what? I just don't have any motivation to lose weight. It's too hard to get motivated to lose weight. On the surface, what you tell yourself is you're not motivated. Underneath it, though, is all of the other stuff. And then you've got the limiting beliefs. You know, I have no idea what you're dealing with because I'm not talking to you. I'm just here recording this free weight loss podcast in my home office recording studio. I have to talk to my clients and have two-way communication to help them get the success that they want. Real world results. Not just talk about it, not just think about it, but actually really get out of their own way and get that weight off and do it without struggle. But an example of a limiting belief would be, I can't do it. Another one would be, I've tried too many times, nothing works for me. Okay. Well, obviously, you're not going to have any motivation to lose weight if those are your beliefs. The problem, though, is that most are unconscious of these thoughts and beliefs. You have to do the work to find out what's really stopping you personally. And then there are steps to unravel all that stuff. And then magically, wow, I've got motivation to lose weight now. Well, what was going on all along, and the reason that it was so hard to get motivated to lose weight is because if you don't address the underlying challenges, the underlying problems, the underlying weight, real weight, it's mental weight and emotional weight that's within you, then you're never going to feel motivated to lose weight because you've got too much weight stopping you. This is weight in addition to the extra weight on your stomach, your butt, your thighs, everywhere else. If you do the inner self work to release your mental and your emotional weight, then it's no big deal to release the physical weight. And then you don't have these problems anymore of not having motivation to lose weight. Because honestly and truly, let's get real. Weight loss is not rocket science. You have to change what you're eating and how much you're eating and how often you're eating. And you just have to stay consistent with it. Meal after meal after meal. That's it. Don't get off track. You got to get started and you got to get going. And it has to become a lifestyle. It can't be a diet because a diet is always short term. Even the inner self diet, that becomes a lifestyle because you've got to address and attend to your mental and emotional state each day to make it easy to continue to live a healthy lifestyle. And all of this, these are things that naturally slender people do without thinking about it because they don't get in their own way and they don't have limiting beliefs that are keeping them fat. And they're not thinking things that are keeping them fat. They don't think like that. But they also aren't really aware of what they're doing because it's just who they are. When you're stuck in the muck and you're where you are right now, you have to consciously take action to make changes to become like that naturally slender person, but you have to do it consciously. They do it without thinking about it. What you do without thinking about it is all of the things that you've done and keep doing that keep you at the weight you are. They don't do that. That doesn't mean that they're smarter than you. It means that they have a different internal foundation of how they think and their beliefs about how they eat and their weight and their body and exercise and everything. If you were to think like them and have the same kinds of beliefs as them about fitness and health and your body and this whole topic, then you'd be able to easily live a healthy lifestyle too. These are things that you need to learn, and that's what I do with my coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet. So bottom line, why it's so hard to get motivated to lose weight? You have to address what's stopping your motivation. If you're not willing to do that, then my best suggestion is you have to force yourself to change right now. You can't wait. And if you get moving and you get into living a healthy lifestyle, that movement will make it easier to keep going. To keep going, though, you have to address the internal piece of this whole thing, and that's 92.8% of all of it. You don't have to do that. It's all up to you. If you're okay with the battle, cool. But then I'm going to guess that you're not okay with it because you continued to listen to me talk throughout this whole podcast. And if you want help to get motivated to lose weight, to stop struggling, to stop binge eating, to stop emotional eating, if it makes sense to you that you have been missing the most important piece of all of this, which is 92.8% of the problem, and that's you need a mental diet and an emotional diet. Because if you don't address your inner self, then you're going to continue to struggle to change your eating behaviors and lose the weight. Otherwise, you would just be doing it right now. There wouldn't be any problem. If you want help and you want to achieve struggle-free weight loss, head on over to www.discovery-session.com, fill out the application. First, what you need to do is enter your first name and email address, and then on the next page, you need to click the button and fill out the application for us to have a complimentary weight loss discovery session together. And then we can uncover those hidden challenges that could be stopping you right now from getting motivated to lose weight. You can create a crystal clear vision for where you want to go. You know, what exactly do you want? And you can leave that complimentary weight loss discovery session actually feeling hope again. I hear this all the time. All these people that I talk to on these discovery calls, they say that they feel hopeful. Hey, if you want to hear hope, if you want to feel some more hope, listen to my special series here in the JoLynn Braley Show, which is all about real results from the Inner Self Diet. And you'll actually hear some of my coaching clients tell you about it. So you can find that in the podcast by searching for Real Results. Besides that, if you want help, if you actually are fed up and frustrated with this whole problem and you don't want to deal with it anymore, apply to talk with me. It is first come, first serve, and I can only talk to 3 people a week. So you got to get yours in right away if you want to be at the top of the list. It's first come, first serve, like I already said. www.discovery-session.com. I hope that after listening to today's podcast, it makes a little bit more sense why it's so hard to get motivated to lose weight. And If you just keep doing what you're doing now, what will change? What are you waiting for? If you're waiting for your fairy godmother to come and tap you on the head and make weight loss easy, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But what you can do is take action to learn how to stop struggling with your eating and your weight. But that's up to you. That's not going to come from some magical solution that drops out of the sky into your lap. You're the one that has to take the action. You're the one that has to get real with yourself, make a decision, and be willing to take full personal responsibility for yourself to change these problems so that you could finally get to your best weight, feel your best, look your best, feel great about yourself. It's all within your power. You just have to learn how to do it. That's all you're missing. I'm JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that actually works, the diet that you need to put your head and your heart on a diet, which makes it struggle-free for you to do the physical action steps that you've got to do to live a healthy lifestyle, to lose weight, and feel great again. I wish you your best life living inside of your ideal body.